Hey, welcome back to Kult of Athena's YouTube channel. I'm your host, Tom. Today we're looking at an Ensifer Red Feather. So this is a sport training longsword from a Polish company, from Ensifer. Take a look at some specs, up-close looks, and a quick flex test so you can see if this one's appropriate for your fencing training. Let's get into it. Okay, let's go over first impressions on this Ensifer Sport Feather. So a feather is just pretty much, it's just a sport longsword. So these are intended to flex. So if this is brand new to you or not, these are intended to have flex. Why? So that when you're thrusting someone in the jacket, and you're thrusting the jacket or you're thrusting especially to the face or to the neck with a fencing mask on and with a gorget on, which is neck protection. So usually even HEMA helmets now will have the full back of the head and nape protection. You gotta have some give to it. If the blade is too rigid, then getting thrusted with a steel trainer sucks already, but especially if it doesn't have any give to it, it's not going to feel good. So there's regulations for this with the flexibility. You can read about that on the website in the link below this video. But first impressions on the fit and finish and just the craftsmanship of this sport longsword. We have a cord wrap grip, which is red. So red wrapped grip. We can see the handles notched out, obviously for two hands. And this is a peen pommel, which is really well done. So if this was a real longsword, this is a really impressive one. The guard is a really nice length, which we're going to go over specs and all that in the up-close looks. But just the overall really well-built blade. The cord wrap, whether you were wearing gloves or gauntlets or even hand protection as well for sparring, the cord wrap is very tight. I would put that in the category of high quality, something even, I mean, this is like almost a $700 sport longsword, so it better be good quality for that price. But even handling this into different guard positions, changing the position, going into cut, into small parries, the point of balance is pulled further back toward the guard in order to take away percussion on the tip of the weapon. Again, purely for safety, so the engineering is done so that way we can fence safely, we can have high quality in our technique and in our practice, and we can go train tomorrow. We're not going to be, taking a full-on thrust without any gear on, and then you can't train for 3 or 4 months because you got a busted rib, you got a busted sternum. So make sure when you are fencing, make sure you got a jacket, neck protection, and head protection when you're using steel trainers. Then last two things of just the first impressions on this. This is 3 pounds, 2.5 ounces. So pretty standard weight. It's a peen pommel, which we spoke about before. It's really well done. And this is a spring steel, so pretty appropriate. I mean, even if you just hit the blade, you can see the amount of flexibility. That's not an official test at all, but just knowing that it has that flexibility to it is going to help with fencing with this, for safety and all that. The edges are really well done. They're thick enough to where when you're going into parries, or if you do have to make more blade contact with more force, having a thicker edge on that's going to be really good. And then the tip, which you can pretty much just see right now, you can see the tip is slightly swelled. That way that's going to help again with keeping all that force of the thrust off of your training partner, especially when you're thrusting the jacket or up to the head. Let's take a look at some up-close looks of this one. I'm going to do like a full kind of pan of it as we go through more of the technical specs so you can get a better idea of the Ensifer Red Feather. Let's take a look at that. Overall length 49.5 inches, blade length 37 3/8 inches. The weight 3 pounds 2.5 ounces. Of course, the edge is blunt. We're looking at the width 48.7 millimeters down to 26.5 millimeters. Now, the important part, the thickness, it's 5.8 millimeters to 3.5 millimeters. There's a flared tip, and the flared tip is 5.6 millimeters thick. Peen pommel, point of balance is 3 5/8 from the guard. Grip length 8 13/16 of an inch. This is a spring steel manufactured by Ensifer from Poland. More up-close looks of the cord wrapping. They did a really good job on the color too. I just really like how the red pops. The cord wrap is not loose, feels nice and solid, so when you're wearing sparring gloves, it's going to feel really, really solid and very easy to handle. Let's look at flexibility on this. So we're just holding it out straight. If I step back, you can see it. So it's got quite a bit of flexibility to it. To really get the full rules on it, these are the Polish regulations for fetters. So make sure you check the website before purchasing this one so you know exactly pounds of pressure and things like that. But these are regulated for fencing with a jacket on. Obviously, make sure you're thrusting correctly and make sure you're cutting correctly. You're not just running at each other. So having proper technique is absolutely a must. So just make sure you keep that in mind with this one. But that's a basic flex test for this fetter. Hey, so thanks for joining me for this review of the Ensifer Red Fetter. This is a sport longsword, really great quality. If you're looking to invest a little bit more into your fencing training for longsword and you're really committed to that, you may want to pick something up of higher quality like this. To buy this one to add it to your collection and your training, click the link in the description below this video to get this one today. I'm your host, Tom, for Kult of Athena's YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll see you in the next one.